Welcome back to another Shrine Baker video. I just want to take a moment to thank you guys for helping me reach 900 subs. Um, Hopefully we can reach 1,000. That's a huge goal of mine. Um, I've broken so many towers over the years. And speaking of that, there's something I want to talk about with the split push. Um, Play style this year is a little different. So last season I was able to split push and get that classic ARTHEO, you know, bear special every game. But this season is different because of the Void Grubbies. So when the enemy gets their hands on that, that's where it becomes challenging because everybody deals damage to the towers. So I've been trying to think of some strategies of how I can you know split push and team fight because when they get their hands on that, you're forced to team fight. So that's why I've been talking about the Steerax meta in my last video. But I've come to think about it more, and what's going around is the drain tank meta, and I was thinking a lot about it because those those items are currently like Volibear's strongest tank items. So props to the Korean Volibear for coming up with that build with Ingenious Hunter. And I've already stated my opinions on that. Is with the Ingenious Hunter shaving off 2.5 seconds, it seems stupid, and it's really good for like longer cooldown items like Zanya's or Steerax, right? So, but if you think about it with Volibear's W, it's actually genius. So, and to be fair, Unending Despair is actually a new item. So, because of that item and that item alone is why Volibear is immortal. So, what we're going to do is we're going to utilize the Drain Tank to solve all of the problems with the Void Grubbies. So if the enemy gets their hands on the Void Grubbies, we're gonna set ourselves up to where we can split push and we can team fight. So for now, the Drain Tank runes playstyle is what I'm gonna be playing every game for top lane. Um, so there's a couple things that I'm going to be covering in this video that's going to help you understand the pros and cons of the Drain Tank and how you can incorporate in the Shinebreaker playstyle.
ARTHEO ends the game. Keep fucking stalling their backs. Stall the backs. Stop the ports! Stop the ports! Stop the ports! Stop the ports! ARTHEO!
So the runes here, I got my 4 pages up here. The Volibear timeline. So the Rift Maker is the one that you usually. So like I usually like going eyeball collection. But for this playstyle, you need Ingenious, so with your Taste of Blood. This works off the passive, so I sometimes would go there. I used to like Taste of Blood with Ravenous Hunter back in the day when Ravenous was around. The passive would work off this, and then you would heal from the vamp. Oh my god, I love that playstyle. So this is set up for this is the rebite style, so getting more ability haste is really good. But since we're starting with a damage item, I'm gonna highly recommend attack speed. So well, not always. So if you go like cosmic, then you could probably get away with this. But if you're going like Leandries, if you want to be like an annoying drain tank, just burning people and spamming your abilities, I highly recommend this. So that way you can get your passive off. And as you're building cooldown boots into Unending Despair, you're gonna get enough ability haste to a point where you're just like burning them down with your ignite, and then when you spam an ability with the Leandry burn, it's just gonna be annoying. You could take ignite and be even more annoying with the damage if you wanted to. But I know the playstyle calls for like teleport and being a part of the team fight, stuff like that. Um, but in general, we want to stack up on the health part, and it says to go with this style. You definitely want Revitalize because it's the healing type build. Um, so we'll do that. We got enough HP scalings here to balance out. Um, so when you're playing this playstyle, I highly recommend you guys run this skin. This skin or the Thousand Tears Bear skin. Um, those two skins. But since we're playing with like the Rift Breaker kind of like setup, I'm just gonna go with that. The reason being those two skins because the Rune Guard is like a symbolic of the Fimba Winter item, literally. And then this one here is symbolic with domination, like eyeball collection. But any of these runes are fine. So I think I'm gonna let's see here. We're versus a tank, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and go Leandries this game just to show you how strong it is, and then I'm gonna go Riftmaker. No, I gotta go Hullbreaker. That's right. I'll go Hullbreaker. Towards the late, we're definitely gonna need the early Leandries. Riftmaker could do well, but I think Leandries is gonna hit them harder. You guys are probably like, why would you go Leandries on a Volibear? Trust me, when you go Weebite style, Leandries is really good. Volibear is a little different than everybody else. That W, that W, quite the big deal. It's got a fat toad in the top lane, so we gotta shred that man down. Yeah, anybody who has sustain. Honestly, I've been playing it a lot the other day. There's not one matchup where Leandries does not counter. There's not one match because like if you think about it, most top laners are what? Tanks, AD, AP bruisers most of the time. And then randomly you get like a TF top, right? You just go full speed, storm surge against that motherfucker and he's gone. But most of the time, like Leandries does pretty well. And like I know you guys thinking like Leandry doesn't have ability haste. Why would you go that? Well, you just go straight into ability haste after. You just rush your cooldown boots, go straight into Leandry's, and then you get more ability haste. You got 3 ability haste items you gotta build. That's more than enough, guys. Alright, so I just gotta remember that I'm not playing the other playstyle. The other playstyle is you run around and waste the Avengers' time. That's that playstyle. That's movement speed, you know, running around the map, controlling the map, split pushing. This style is literally you can do both. You can split push and go God mode. But you know, like I said, this playstyle definitely has its weakness. So like in this matchup, I could probably go into Unending Despair and be fine. I could do that. But if you're versus like AP Bruiser, that's where you start to realize like, fuck man, going Unending first, especially like early. Once you get Unending Despair, then it's good. But like, let's just say you died like 1 or 2 times before then. That's where it gets hard. That's where it gets hard.
Your gods are cowards.
Or like, if you're dealing with a lot of AP in the comp and you don't build spirit until like after Thimble, that can be hard too.
The soil hungers.
But the good thing is the build is cheap, so that's one of the reasons why I highly recommend going damage first and getting a solid lead. But once you do that, start taking down towers, that's where your money's gonna rake in, so you can afford this cheap warm-up build. You know what I'm saying?
With each step I take, the wind gathers and the thrace drum grows.
Yo, I love this Kane already. I don't have to worry about the junglers showing up. Plus, the reason why I like attack speed and the rune stats is because my auto attacks are faster and I'm not gonna grief my minions. You know what I mean? I can farm easier. And you shouldn't need to spam right now in this early stage. You shouldn't need to until later. So it's just same with building into Leandries, we shouldn't have to. But when you go cooldown boots, like you'll be able to Q W combo, burst them down a lot more. And also we're building tiers, so that really helps too.
All will crumble.
Ooh.
Double kill.
So the first thing I'm gonna do is buy tier. I gotta make sure I buy tier and boots. It depends on the gold. Like if I get 1300 on the first pack, then I'm getting that what do you call it? Haunting disguise, gaze or guise or whatever it's called. That bonus damage item that builds in the Riftmaker and Leandries. Oh, it looks like don't put it well. So we go max W at this point.
This place has been tamed. I will untame
You better run for your life. Nice. And we're rich too, guys. So I'm just gonna keep it up. Rake as much gold as possible. Because if I can afford that that AP item into tier, that's gonna be a really nice setup for me. I don't care if I die here because I got teleport.
the storm gathers, and I enter sky.
Alright, so buy this item right here. And then we get tier. And that's good enough. Go back to lane. Looks like we don't have to TP right away, so we're just gonna go. So right now we're not worried about the rebite right now. Okay, don't worry about the rebite. Rebite comes a little later with this place down. So we're just looking for wave clear. You know, smack them with the Q&E combo. That's all we're doing at this point.
Mortals fail.
Okay. Am I getting away? Unlucky. That timing, but did we get dragon? We did. And I got this, and I got teleport. So I don't mind dying there. So that's pretty much what you gotta do sometimes. You just gotta try to survive if you can. Sometimes you can pick up a kill. Just unlucky I got knocked out of my E there. So I got teleport, so he's got nothing off that.
They have lost their wild.
And just like that, we're back to lane. We're not missing out on anything. Alright, we gotta give it up.
Many have tried to
What is he doing? This is Kenshin in a nutshell, like right here. It's like dude. Kenshin in a nutshell. It's like you can't get away. It's totally unfair. This fucking, like, why did you go over the wall? Alright, we got 5, so I'm happy with that. They only got 1. Void Grubbies. I gotta get back to lane. Hurry up here. This Kane's griefing me. That's another thing about this playstyle, is that you don't have the tenacity, slow resistance, so you're dealing with fucking tank like this, who's, you know, perma slowing you. Leona's another one, or Thresh in team fights could be very bad. But with unending despair, you know, being near them is what keeps you alive.
I will unleash the
Got my teleport up at 90.
Ice hides the fury within.
Kinda wanna save it. Alright, we got Leandry's. Goes back to lane. And now we're gonna focus on getting our cooldown boost into unending despair, and then we'll start popping the fuck off.
What happens?
Hopefully.
Old
Motherfucker. Like, get off me.
An enemy has been slain. Double kill. Your team has destroyed a turret.
beneath the stone, I sense no wild.
An enemy has been slain.
Alright, so now I can go ahead and join the fight. Nice. Take this tower. Coming. Pop my ghost so I can get there on time. One W on this guy is gonna melt him. Like I said, you hit them once with Leandries, it just burns them the fuck down. We got Despair, and now we're gonna pop off. And then we go into Thimble, that's gonna, you know, give us even more damage reduction. I could go Hullbreaker at this point, if I wanted to. But I think it's best to go Thimble, since we're gonna have that tier stacked. And if I wanted to take towers, I just take one of these pots.
With each step I take,
That's what I do. Sorry for the hiccup.
wind.
Nice. Fucking unkillable. I'm burning everybody. You wanna take me on, bitch? Go, motherfucker. That's right, I'm the strongest Avenger. That's what I'm calling this playstyle. Strongest Avenger. Alright, so like I said, what you do is you pop one of these. Okay? You want to take towers? That's all you need. We got the Grubbies, we got 5 of them. So Hullbreaker's going to be late when we want to take out the Inhibitor and the Nexus, okay? That's what the new Hullbreaker does this season.
I am a god.
So when you're playing this way, just remember that. Same thing if you go Titanic, you don't need Hullbreaker. You just take the Iron Pot for you know, bonus health on the no fucking. Alright, I'm going in, I'm going in, I'm going in. Alright, let's get the dragon, guys. I'm gonna push. Nobody can stop me. Yeah, you might want to think twice about that, son. Like, I don't understand these guys. Who's the raid boss now, bitch? Might as well take fucking tower. Got the 2 damage. I'm the best drain tank in the world right here. Can I get my Bimble now, guys? Jesus. There we go. I think in a situation like this, I would definitely go hullbreaker since we're there now. So we're going hullbreaker because of this. We're there. Time is now. You know, we're worried about spirit in the late game. We're already strong.
An enemy has been slain.
Yeah, Melio. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So if you get like Summoner or like Taraka, any of those type champions, oh my god.
Double kill. Ace.
We could end the game.
Your team
Let's
has
end.
destroyed a turret.
The hullbreaker, but yeah, surrender. Unlucky. I was hoping to do the best special. Come on, guys. Let me at least do that. Don't need tenacity when you got melee. He speeds you up, right? And I also forgot to mention, most of the early game you take the sorcery power, right? For the early towers, especially if you don't have hullbreaker and you go on AP as a starter. What you do in the late game, by the time you get the hullbreaker, you don't take sorcery anymore. You take the iron, and you get tenacity off of that. But the reason why we switch is because sorcery is useless on the inhibitors and nexus. So we want to feed hullbreaker more health, since you already got the attack speed off the AP item on your passive. So you're just gonna hit like a brick with the hullbreaker on the nexus. It's important that you guys understand like what are your options when you're building this style. You don't always want to build into Unending Despair as the first item in some matchups. Trust me. It's just better to go like Leandry's. Leandry's is very strong. I highly recommend it with this build. You start dealing, with champions like Yasu and all those broken ass champions. You hit them once with the ability, in the second rebite. That's all you need on per champion. You burn them down and drain them out. Last item, you don't have to go hullbreaker. You can go Riftmaker if you wanted to. It's really good with this. More sustain. If you want more crowd control, Iceborne, you can't go wrong with that. Spirit. I don't even have Spirit here, guys. So imagine that. So we got a solid lead. So I was able to go for the hullbreaker earlier. But a lot of times, you definitely go Spirit and then the hullbreaker at the end. And like I said, it depends on the matchup. So if yeah, versus AD, you can go this first item into Hullbreaker second, Bimble, Spirit. You can go that order. But since I was versus the tank, it's just way better to go Leandry's. And then if you look here, we got Lee Sin, you got healing, we got Yasu, who depends on some healing a little bit. And just being able to drain them down makes it easier for your team overall. Look at that. Bam. Second most damage in the game. And you know me. When I play the breaker style split push, my damage is like the world record lowest, right? But that's normally what we don't look for when we play this play style. We normally look for uh what? The tower damage. When we're out here, being a part of the team fight and, dealing damage to towers. So I got other play styles that I've always had in the past where you could do both. Um, but this one by far the strongest this year for this season. Look at the objectives too. It's a big deal. And whoops, Yeah, I guess you could look at healing done. That's a lot of healing. And then the most important thing is how much damage you're taking. And you get quite a bit with that item, plus Bimble. And then that just doubles down when you get Spirit. His R cleanses, Melio. Yeah. If you get the right support, this is just, especially with the Revitalize, this insane. So this is the breaker style setup. So don't forget, get the sorcery pot, the iron pot in the late game, and that's gonna help you take down those towers. Um, hullbreaker is gonna help you take down the inhibitor and Nexus, especially when you're alone by yourself and you need to end the game. So that's what I recommend for the breaker style. And if you go back to my item setup here, show you guys this one more time. So obviously this is core, and then these are all your options here that you can go with. And I'm sure you can be creative. You can build your own. So Hullbreaker, you could definitely rush Hullbreaker if you wanted to, but I recommend it right here if you versus AD. And if you're not versus AD, pick one of these options. Um, and you can go Leandry. I feel like Leandry's in most cases is going to win you more games, especially as a first item into this. It just does. It just this this is what it's all about. It's about draining your target. It's not about, like for example, Cosmic is really good. You get a lot of ability haste with this, but in some matchups, you're gonna notice that it's taking forever to kill the target. If you know what I mean. So that's where Leandry's comes in handy. So like when you're versus like AP Bruiser, AD Bruiser, Tank, this is really gonna counter the fuck out of him. This build setup right here. All right, there you go. We got that drain tank. No bear special. I'm a little sad about that. We had the ult, but they surrendered. I'm really struggling out there with the split push. But I gotta say, this drain tank is really helping with the split push and making the decision to team fight. I think it's kind of the problem solver here. Um, that's one of the reasons why I mentioned Steerax meta for jungle could also be used top. So like if you're building like let's say Titanic Rush, and then you normally want to go like I don't know Heartsteel or like Iceborne Riftmaker, any of those items, and then into the Hullbreaker or something like that, like how I used to do it. But if they got all the grubbies, you can't split push, you know. Um, And that's where you got to make a decision. Like maybe I shouldn't go Iceborne second. I should go Steerax and just join up to team fights, make a difference. It's kind of no different than having like Bemba Winter in a sense. So you just go in there, get your lifeline shield, fuck up whoever you need to, fuck up, and then get out. Go back to split pushing. It's kind of one of those things. But I gotta say, this method, if you play it like this, like I was saying, I think this is the way to play. We got the Void Grubbies. There's no need for Hullbreaker if you're going AP or Titanic. That's what I should mention. Where is it? And these items right here, 1, 2, 3, maybe Cosmic too. If you're going any of these items as a first item, you don't need Hullbreaker right now. You need it later. Okay? And what you want to do is you want to take this. Okay? This is very important. A lot of people sleep on it. This is very important. If you're going AP, it's simple. You take this. Okay, this with the Void Grubby is going to shred down the towers. You don't need a Hullbreaker, really. And then Titanic, you want to take this. If you rush Titanic, all you need is this. You shred down towers easily with the active. Press that with Demolish. That's all you need. And you can even rush Hullbreaker if you wanted to. And Hullbreaker, if you go AP second or first with this, you can definitely run this. Or otherwise, you can just go the Iron Pot here if you're going into more like AD. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps out a lot. It's going to improve your split push because the thing about the Drain Tank is it's slow. It sucks at wave clear. It does not do a good job at split. But if you play it like how I played it in this game, in that game recently, then you're definitely going to wave clear better. You're going to fight better. You got more damage. You don't have to go like tank. You can sit on Leandres and build Jack Show at the end if you wanted to. Like I said, you don't have to go hullbreaker, but it just helps. So like if you're in a scenario where your entire team gets wiped out late game and you're dealing with late game scaling champions like Smolder or fucking Kale level 16, that's where you might want to consider going hullbreaker so you can deal more damage to the inhibitor and Nexus by yourself. Otherwise, AP is not going to do it alone. Same thing with Titanic; it's not going to do it alone. You need hullbreaker for that, and the iron pot here, because sorcery is useless on the inhibitor and Nexus. So those are the things I want to point out and make sure everybody understands that. This is going to improve your split push and team fight combination by a mile, and I think this is the way to play for season 14. So, thank you to the Korean Volibear or whoever came up with the whole playstyle with the Ingenious Hunter and Winter and Unending Despair. That's genius. I'm surprised I didn't think about that myself. Um, like I said, I've talked about it in the past. I felt like it was stupid to shave off like 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds, but it makes sense for the Volibear's W. That's the only reason why I'm okay with it, because otherwise it's like I would rather use that for like Steerax or Zanya's, much longer cooldown, or like Predator boosts. But um, yeah, it's pretty smart. It's helpful, and I'm unkillable out there. Hopefully Riot doesn't nerf that part of it. I don't mind if they nerf Volibear a little bit or adjust them down, but like honestly, with the amount of damage that's in the game right now, Volibear needs this. This is what Volibear needs. Because otherwise, like, the other tank items aren't really performing up to what Despair is doing right now. It just isn't. And another problem is there's a lot of people out there abusing Ingenious Hunter, kind of similar to how they used to abuse Ravenous Hunter. The vamp rune that used to exist. Like, I feel like it's kind of like we're reliving that kind of meta right now, where people would just like spam one rune, like literally everybody would go with the same rune.